Hello, this is Andrew McKee at 761-1234. Thank you for calling on this, the first day of this telephone ministry. First days are usually memorable occasions. That's why we have anniversaries. The boy, now a man, will remember the first time he wore long trousers and had his first shave. The girl, now grown up, her first date and the first time she noticed the man who is now her husband. The mother recalls the first time she held her newborn child in her arms. These are part of the store of treasured memories. How often have you thought of putting first things first? And like so many others, you are guilty of wrong priorities. There are always 101 things jostling for our attention, and what is of real importance gets crowded out. One of Scotland's great preachers was Thomas Chalmers of Kilmeny, who was also a brilliant mathematician. On one occasion he admitted that he had been guilty of mistaken priorities. He said, "Mathematician and all as I was, I forgot two magnitudes, the littleness of time and the vastness of eternity." There is a great need for all of us to see life against the backcloth of eternal things, for this saves us from many a blunder and foolish notion, and helps us to put first things first. Jesus Christ said, "I am the first," and the day when his values and standards are accepted by us will be not only the first day of a new life, but the first day of the best life of all. Do call again tomorrow, this number, 761-1234, and may God bless you. This is Andrew McKee at 761-1234. Thank you for calling. I'm a fairly observant individual, and not much escapes my notice, except when my wife is wearing a new dress, and then she says I'm as blind as a bat. But some of the adverts on the hoardings attract my attention. I couldn't help seeing this one, "A taste of heaven of something which does not cost the earth." What do you make of that? Rather clever, I thought. But like so many clever adverts, it can be very deceiving. Everything has its price. It's a costly business to make a success of anything. The student knows that, and so do the young couple trying to make the necessary adjustments so that their marriage won't fall apart. Nothing that is of value has been achieved without someone somewhere paying the price. I've heard it said that Christianity doesn't work. This is usually a superficial judgment passed by those who have never given it a fair trial. What they mean is, it doesn't work on my terms. You really can't blame the medicine, let alone the doctor, if it doesn't help you. That is, if the prescription has never been dispensed or the bottle is untouched. Some people still think that they can enjoy the blessings of God without these costing them anything. Jesus once said, "Anyone who wants to follow me must put aside his own desires and conveniences and carry his cross with him every day and keep close to me." It is still true that the entrance fee to God's kingdom is nothing, for it's by faith, but the annual subscription is everything. Call this number, 761-1234, tomorrow, and God bless you. Hello, this is Andrew McKee at 761-1234. Thank you for calling. I wonder if the name Bobby Jones means anything to you. He was one of the greats in the golfing world of a past generation. In one year he won the British Open, the Amateur Championship of Great Britain, as well as the Open and Amateur Championships of America. On these occasions he sank his putts with great precision. The putter he used was affectionately known as Calamity Jane. But that putter he found in an old shed at the bottom of a friend's garden. It had been discarded and was covered with rust. But Bobby Jones liked the feel of it, took it away, cleaned it, polished it, and then put it to great use, and captured many a coveted prize. I think that we write off some people as of no use too easily. We place them beyond the pale far too quickly. But don't we sometimes do exactly the same with ourselves? We haven't been all that we might have been, and our lives hardly bear examining. We have more moral failures than victories to show. Or maybe it is that you feel of little use because that disease or accident has left you crippled. Maybe some people have given up on you, but don't you give up on God or on yourself. The most unpromising circumstances can yield good in His hands. The desert can still rejoice and blossom as the rose, and the most unlikely people have become different when their lives were placed in the hands of the Lord. John Newton, who wrote Amazing Grace, his own testimony, is one such person. Place your life, with all its faults and blemishes and problems, into God's hands, and know that what He's done for others, He can do for you. God bless you, and call tomorrow. Hello, this is Andrew McKee at 761-1234. Thank you for calling. Who of us has not at some time or another shed tears? To imagine that life can be lived without them is to be without a soul, or to be guilty of gross unreality. A robot or a computer can't shed tears, but then neither can they love, and tears are part of the price of loving and being involved with people. The words of Robert Burns come to my mind. Had we never loved, say, blindly, had we never loved, say, kindly, never met or never parted, we should ne'er be broken-hearted. Jesus Christ knew the price of loving, and His humanity is seen partly in the fact that on at least 2 occasions He wept. We needn't be ashamed of tears, because they at least show that we are sensitive to life with all its different shades of experience. And if anyone ever comes to you and offers you a Christianity without tears, you'll know immediately he's a false prophet. But there are tears which can be wiped away by the Lord, tears of regret over a life which has been misspent. This can be forgiven and fellowship with God restored. But this new relationship with the Lord is not going to mean separation from others and their sorrows. Rather will it mean a sharing of them. But anguish felt in this ministry cannot destroy the deep joy which God gives to those who bear the burdens of others. The Bible tells us that in God's bright tomorrow He will wipe away all tears from people's eyes. Meantime, He wipes those of regret and repentance, and shares those of redemptive suffering. Call this number tomorrow. Meantime, God bless you. Hello, this is Andrew McKee at 761-1234. Thank you for calling. I wonder if you believe in miracles, or do you say, for me, seeing is believing. But can we believe everything we see? What about optical illusions? And dare we limit what we believe in to what we have actually seen? Many years ago, a Dutch ambassador described his native country to the King of Siam and told him that during the winter, the water in the canals became so hard that men could actually walk on it. The king flew into a rage. He wasn't prepared to listen to anything so preposterous and impossible. Is that how you react when you're told of something which is out with your understanding or your comprehension? Some folks, for example, are unhappy about the so-called miracles in the Bible. They would empty it of everything which smacks of the supernatural. But like the King of Siam, who didn't know about the law which states that below a certain temperature water becomes ice, these people, I think, are ignorant of the physical and the spiritual laws which Jesus knew about and used so effectively. The idea of miracles happening at all is rejected by some folks because they think that the laws of cause and effect are being broken or suspended, whereas I believe that God uses other higher laws with which we are not familiar. The miracles of Jesus will be understood when we possess the knowledge He had about the laws which govern the world. One man had no difficulty in believing that Christ performed miracles when he said, Jesus Christ changed beer into furniture and betting slips into food. The greatest modern miracle Christ performs is in changing people so that they can say, I live, yet not I, but Christ lives in me. Call again tomorrow. God bless you. Hello, this is Andrew McKee at 761-1234. Thank you for calling. One of the greatest modern paintings of the crucifixion of Jesus Christ is that by Salvador Dali, which hangs in the Art Gallery in Glasgow. The artist's view is from above the cross, which is itself set against a dark sky and above a blue lake. The body, held to the giant cross-beam by nails in both hands, strains forward, and the head is bowed. The ancients thought of the world as being laid on the broad shoulders of the god Atlas. Here, Salvador Dali, I think, gives us a Christian counterpart. He depicts Jesus as the great burden bearer, or, as John the Baptist described him, the one who would bear away the sin of the world. Have you ever given any serious thought as to why it is you have heard of the cross of Christ and of no other cross, when in fact people were crucified in their hundreds, if not in their thousands? Why do people still talk about this cross, and some of us spend our lives preaching it? It is because through this cross God is showing to people the measure of his love for them. It is as though he were saying, you people can do your worst to me. You can break my body, drain my blood, and bruise my flesh, but you can't stop me loving you. Or again, if you go on sinning against love and destroy yourself, you will do it over my dead body. But God is not only declaring something, he's also doing something. He's bearing away the burden of the world's guilt. Did you know that God loves like this? I know it's incredible, but it's true. It's darkness to my intellect, but it's sunshine to my heart. One man wrote, the Son of God loved me and gave himself for me. Can you say that? Don't you wish you could? Call again tomorrow. Hello, this is Andrew McKee at 761-1234. Thank you for calling. Thomas Carlyle said that whenever he visited the grave of his mother at Echofechen, he could recall her saying, Son, trust in God and do the right. Do you believe that it pays to be good? This is the kind of question which all of us at some time or another have to wrestle with. The businessman who is offered a shady deal, a kind of shortcut to financial success, or the actress who is asked to compromise her moral standards to get a good part in some production, or the policeman who is bribed to turn a blind eye on law breaking, or the doctor put under pressure to compromise his medical ethics. It's when these pressures are on that we're all tempted to wonder if, after all, we have been wrong, and whether a bit of compromise here and there might not be a good thing. After all, who of us couldn't do with a bit extra in our pockets, especially with the cost of living being what it is? I would not be foolish to suggest to you that all good people are rewarded with riches, and that all bad people are poor. We all know the facts too well. But I am naive enough to believe that man doesn't live by bread alone, and that this should be remembered when we are calculating the cost of living as distinct from the cost of existing. My naivety extends to believing that God doesn't make up his accounts at the end of each week. He may not even settle with people during their lifetime, but payday will come one day. It is appointed. The psalmist wrote, Never envy the wicked. Trust in the Lord instead. Be kind and good to others. Then you will live and prosper. Call again tomorrow. Hello, this is Andrew McKee at 761-1234. Thank you for calling. Studdert Kennedy, a great chaplain in the First World War, told of two soldiers who, when their position was being bombarded, were frightened. But they showed their fear in entirely different ways. One cursed and swore, while the other cried aloud to God in prayer, asking for safety. He said he found the praying the more disgusting of the two. Kennedy says that the frightened soldier shouldn't have asked that he survived, but rather that he be given the courage to endure. During the last war, the SS Dorchester was torpedoed 90 miles off the coast of Greenland, and she sank within 20 minutes. Of the 904 men on board, 678 were lost, and among these were 4 chaplains who had given their life jackets to other men. One of the chaplains was Clark Poling. Before he left home, he said to his aged and godly father, "Dad, don't pray that I should return from the war, but rather that I should do my duty. Just pray that I shall be adequate." I believe that prayer was answered. Do you often wish that you could escape from your present surroundings, get away from your problems? Do you often pray, "Lord, send me 1,000 miles from here and it would all be different"? You've got no need to pray a prayer like that, to wish to be anywhere else, since God is where you are now. Don't ask God to give you tasks that are equal to your strength, but rather strength that's equal to your tasks, just to make you adequate. To one man, God said, "I am with you. That's all you need. My power shows up best in weak people." May you prove that. God bless you. Call again tomorrow.